All right, everybody, welcome back to another video. Haven't made one in a while, so I figured I'd make one. Try to finish making it anyways. I do a lot of filming in the beginning and then forgetting, so let's get to it. Now we got cows out on the property. They're full of piss and vinegar. I just moved them to new pasture, so they're excited to be here. We got the most cows we've ever had here, so about 10 pairs with a couple replacement heifers. So they're full of it. But the grass is growing good. Cross our fingers, they haven't got out yet. We got a fair bit of power. And our fencing's not too bad, so hopefully all is good. I just came over here. The owner had crossed the fence like this, and it was grounding out in two spots, so I'm gonna have to remind him how electricity works. Anyways, you guys can go screw off for a little bit. They weren't too sure about this crossing. They were a little bit scared, but these cows have to come back down the alley to go down to the water, so that's why I can't close them off here. They got one more pasture for this alley, and then they're in the back, and they'll be on the back well. It's a specifically made well just for the back, so we got two wells. I actually found that well when I was making the fence. Nobody even knew about it, so I was pretty happy about that. They were here for about 9 or 10 days. A little longer than I wanted to put them, but I didn't have much time to. We were putting all cows out at the time, so we didn't have much time to move them. They were here for about 4 days here, which is way better. As you can see, we halved everything. So I like to see they cut everything. Want everything cut just in half. Leave a good amount, just so that we can come back to it pretty quickly. We won't have to wait, 2 months for it to come back. So that's what we're trying to do here. It's the first time we've ever grazed on this side. Last year we grazed just this side. Or no, we didn't even graze this side last year. No, we grazed the back last year. That was the only amount we got. We only had about 14 cows, I think, when we brought them last year. But so far so good. So now they're going to be able to travel all the way down this alley, overgraze the alley, but it's better than overgrazing two of the big paddocks. So we did just, I think we did about 4 or 5 kilometers of fencing on this whole farm, and it's about 32 acres. Should have been 40, but the front we didn't do because he's got his vegetables and stuff like that, and I don't want to wreck all those stuff in case some of the cows get out, so we left it. So yeah, we'll get out of here, leave the cows be, just make sure everything's hooked on properly. We'll go check on the water. All right, so this is our water setup here. Shown you this before. Runs off a solar panel. This is the beautiful well that I found. It was nicely cement poured. It's pretty deep. It's about 13 feet deep. I just fenced it off here. The fence goes along here, and there's another alley that connects to the big alley. So that's where they have to walk down to drink. When they're in this pasture, I just put the water bowl here. They don't have to bother in the alley. But for the rest of those 3 pastures, they have to run on the alley and kind of come down in this narrow pasture here, narrow alley. I wanted this area just so that they used to come through here, and when we want to take them home at the end of the season, we can just run them down here and make a corral. It used to be a pretty beaten up yard when they had horses, so it's pretty hard. And we can get in here with a truck and set up a nice corral. So that works pretty good. Only downside is it's gonna get overgrazed and there's gonna be nothing here. So we're gonna waste a fair bit of potential regrowth, but that's the price that we have to pay for not having a high pressure well and a water line in every paddock. So it's a lot cheaper too, so that's not a big deal. Keeps everything clean. So yeah, we'll go to we'll get out of here and we'll go to Arnold's farm. Or yeah, no, I was there yesterday, so I don't think we have to go there. We'll go to Maslow now. I was there yesterday, I got 6 calves, but gotta go there now to move them, so let's go there. All right, just got to the Arnold farm. 2 vultures sitting on the fence post. Let's go look at that, see what they're up to. They smell something. It's usually not good when you see these guys. You can see the smoke from the wildfires burning in Quebec. It smells like barbecue out here. That's for the grass. That's growing pretty good here. We're actually pretty far behind. We got to keep going just to make sure everything doesn't get old on us. So that's what we're doing. Oh, the vultures are over there. I'm starting to think they can smell the rotting testicles that are drying up on the steers. We have this bloodless electric or rubber band that we put on the testicles to cut the blood flow to them, so they eventually dry up and fall off. And they do smell as that's happening, so I'm starting to think maybe that's what they smell, or they can smell death occurring to one of these. I don't know. This is the calf we've had trouble with. Yesterday he was, or 2 days ago, he was hobbling around like he had a bad foot. I thought he had tetanus, which was my biggest fear, because we're a little slow on the tetanus vaccine. We're supposed to do it 2 weeks before we castrate him, but I don't think that's the problem anymore. He's just a really stiff. They usually get lockjaw, they're really stiff, and it's fatal. So I think he would have died by now if he had that, but I don't think he has it. Just one of my worries. Anyways, so look at this guy. You can see his, let's see his testicles. See how they look like dried up prunes, and you can actually smell them. There you go, you can get a better view of them. So that's just no blood in it, and it's just drying up, and eventually it'll just fall off. So I'm starting to think maybe that's what they smell, unless there's a cow that we didn't know. But I counted them all here, and we all seem to be here. So as for the grass, I was gonna move them, but geez, there's no point. A lot of this crappy grass here, and in the back they still got a fair bit. Just don't want to keep them too long, and I don't want to move them too slow. They kind of did thin it out though. I might just move them along. So we're at Maslow now. You can see the smoke is here too. It's pretty bad. Anyways, I brought these 7 cows. They're from the fall group, or actually they're from the spring group. And last year they weren't. Last year they weren't full when we prec checked them. Instead of getting rid of them, we put them with the fall group. And in December they got bred, and all of them caught. So surprisingly enough, all those cows are still here. And we kind of ran out of pasture for the fall group, so we said, well, we got lots of pasture here in Maslow, so we'll just mix them with the spring group. The only bad side is that they're might be calving out on pasture because the spring group doesn't come back early as the fall does. we always bring the fall group home early so they can calf. But so they might just calve out here. Not really a big problem. They're all pretty nice sized cows, and they all done it calf by themselves before. So we'll see. The only downside, if there is a problem, it's kind of a pain in the ass to deal with if they're like a backwards calf or something. So I don't know. We might just bring them home early, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. But for now, we got to move these cows, or move this group. Been here 3 days. This is the sick calf we've been having trouble with. This little guy, he had scours or something. It's coming around though. Hopefully. Alright, let's move him. The calf's doing pretty good. Lots of grass. They're sniffing each other out. They're not new cows. They've seen these cows before, but they're just different groups. Actually, that black cow with the white head has never been in this group. She's a fall group. Still want to get rid of these Yonex cows. My God, they're bad. Look at this one. This one's the worst. Her calf's practically dying. She's got no milk. And there's another one that's just worse by the day. So yeah, we're gonna probably have to do something with this one. Figure if the calf dies, then we can get rid of her, but make a bottle calf out of him and send her. Hey, look at this one's a little slow still. I don't know why. And we got one with a wet tail, so I don't know what's going on there. It's the problem we had with the last one that died, I'm pretty sure. And we got this big bag here. Alright, so we're back at the farm now. We moved a bunch of cows. Everybody seems to be good. Talked to an old farmer a couple towns away from us in the Papineau area. I talked to him about a year ago regarding some of his pasture that he had. He's got about 50 acres of pasture that he no longer uses because he doesn't have cows anymore. So I talked to him about a year ago. Haven't talked to him since today. Went to go see him today. Actually signed a contract today, so we made an agreement upon the pasture agreement. So that's kind of cool. It's just that we got to fence everything, so I got more fencing to do. So at least we talked about it and we're one step forward. So for now, we're actually just fixing this front end of this tractor. The Kingpin wanted to come out on us. We got a bolt that's broken inside, and there was only one bolt that was actually half stripped, and it wasn't really tight holding down the pin. I ended up finding two bolts here that are for the, I think for the mud flap bracket or something that we don't use anymore, and they're the same size. So I managed to throw those in. I'm just gonna Loctite them now, and I think I'm out of Loctite here. Yeah, who does that? Who does that? Puts it back empty. Anyways, we'll get some Loctite on these, and then the pin will stay hopefully in, and we'll eventually one day get that stud out. It's quite fluffy. steaming too, so that's good. Hopefully this will be half the size when we come to spread it. So believe it or not, I'm in the tractor now, bringing an empty dump down to Devon. I'm going to start chopping some grass silage for the very first time in about 20 years. I don't think I've ever hauled grass silage in my lifetime. So this is quite the memorable moment. We got a dump that we borrowed from our neighbor. We usually borrow it in the corn silage season, so they were nice enough to lend us it again. They never really use them, so we always have them available. Just started to rain a little bit, a couple spits, but it stopped, and I want to say the silage is at like 70%. It's pretty wet, but we're gonna give it a go. As long as he can chop, he's gonna chop, and we'll hopefully get this stuff done, because tomorrow it's gonna rain even more, and for sure it's gonna rain. So it's a nice little change of pace from baling silage. We can go a lot wetter now, and hopefully, I don't know if it's any faster. I really don't think it's faster. We don't have anything windrowed together, like we didn't rake anything, so we're just going up and down with a disc line cut. All right, first load. Actually second load, but first load for tonight. 7 o'clock at night. It's gonna get dark pretty quick, but just wanted to see how this goes. I was hoping the damn thing would open. Holy God, stuff is wet. Definitely gonna stick to the bone, or to the. Yeah, that was a good load. I think that's it, actually. Nice feed. So these are the windrows straight from the disc bind. They're not merged together at all. That's why it takes a while. But one day we'll have a merger, or one day we'll have an inverter or hay accumulator or some sort of thing like that. So for now it's just like that, but we'll see how it goes. Going good so far. Look at this. Pretty wet feed. Yeah, it's pretty wet. All right, we're coming live from the 88 Ford this morning. Welcome back, everybody. And the old truck today. Not my most favorite truck, but we're in it. We need it. We're going to Patmobile to, well, we got to move the cows back to the back pastures. The owner's son kind of had a meltdown yesterday. He was kind of freaking out about how he has to open the gate. You know, there's 3 gates he has to go through to get to the back of his property, and he was pretty much crying about that. It takes too much time to get off, open the gate, and then he was telling us a bunch of other stuff, like one spot we forgot to fence. I'm not going to call it a ditch because there's no water in it, but it's a furrow that we forgot to fence out completely. I'm not going to fence it out because it's not a problem. Anyways, so he said because of that, he's got algae growing in his pond now, and it's been, wow, the cows are in that pasture for 3 days.
So it's probably nearly impossible to have some sort of algae growth from a little bit of manure. Anyways, then the list goes on about complaints, and they basically wanted us to go pick up our cows and get them off their property. This is a farm we've been working, like last year I worked most of the summer on clearing brush and running new fence, and we took it from nothing to what it is now. It's fully fenced. We dug wells, we spent a lot of money, and not even a full year in, and they wanted to tell us to get off their property. Luckily, we have a good contract, and no, that's not going to happen. They're going to be stuck with us for the next 5 years, and we are going to stay there for 5 years, regardless of their stupid little problems that they come up with in their head. So, another problem was there's too much manure. He was complaining about the manure in the alley. He has to drive through with his four-wheeler, and it gets on his boots, and I laughed at him, like, oh, you want cows, you want all this stuff, but then no, you don't want cows that shit, and you don't want any gates to open. So it's nearly impossible what they're trying to tell us. They want us to change to make it easier for them. So we're heading there now. We're gonna put the cows in the back so that they're not basically in the way of the owner's son, and then hopefully he'll calm down a little bit and just carry on and do his gardening. So we're going there now. So this is the back pasture. It's a pretty big pasture. It's split in half just over here. We just got a well down there. We got to bring all the solar panels and everything down. Well, you can lead a cow to water, but you can't make them drink. So that's what we did here. We led them to water. They're in their new pasture. Mosquitoes are freaking horrendous today, especially down here. So we got these cows out of his hair. He doesn't have to open a single gate. He doesn't have to deal with any fresh manure on the road. And, he can just live kumbaya peacefully with his vegetables and whatever he does all day. So that problem is kind of, avoided. It's not solved. Avoided for now. We're gonna have to reconfigure the entire front part of the farm, the alleyway, to find a way to get water to the pastures without having an alley where they walk down. So it's ridiculous. We put in a lot of hard work here. We made a contract everybody agreed upon, and then as soon as the cows get here, they've been here for like a couple weeks, not even, and already a fucking problem. So it's the life of a farmer. Doesn't matter. It's only a small group of cattle anyways. It's not like we have 100 head of cattle here. I did just make a contract with another guy just a couple towns over for about 50 acres. I have to fence it all, but we'll be there for at least 4 years. So if this goes to shit, we have a backup. And we are short pasture anyway, so we need more. So we've always got about 20 head that are always like, where do we put them? So that's why we're always happy to have pasture. And these guys will be good. They're running on the Speedrite solar panel fencer, to power the fence. So that'll be good. A lot of the caps. Hey girl, Jesus, you're friendly. All of the caps bags are not about to fall off, but they're getting plump there. They're getting discolored. So that's a good sign. Water works. It's a pain in the ass to set up, but at least I had a four-wheeler to go back and forth. This wasn't too bad. Well, now they're looking at the well. These cows never been here before, so as soon as the water turns on, it scares the shit out of them and they go running. So gotta make sure our drain plug leaks a little bit actually, but it's not too bad. Oh yeah, they'll be here for probably try to do 2 weeks. It's the thing with whenever I have all the pasture set up, I actually plan everything out. It's like a pasture plan, where they're going to be, how long they're going to be, and how many rotations we're going to do. And then if someone who doesn't know anything about farming comes along and says, no, you can't do this and that anymore, you can't come through here anymore, then it's like, it's literally half of the farm is just like scrapped right away. So the whole pasture plan gets like, has to be reconfigured, and now I'm gonna be overgrazing and staying too longer than I want to, because we're gonna have to make these two actually 3 fields to work for the most of the summer. So I don't know, if people would just learn something, like educate themselves, it would be great. So we're out of here. Everything's loaded up. Didn't take too long. Now we're gonna head home and show you the bunker style that we chopped, or the grass sides we chopped yesterday. Oh, the old Ford, eh? Oh, we're back at the farm now, doing this again. Do this every day. Bring that orphan calf in. Try to get them two to communicate or work together, but it doesn't seem to be working. It's gonna be, it's either 2 days or 2 months, so we're almost 2 months, we'll see. Anyways, this is the cow chow bunk. It's the first cut of grass silage. We just did 15 acres. It's only half a bunk, half the length of the regular bunk. We've been meaning to finish the other half, but we've been having a hard time finding cement blocks. So we got about 10 feet left of corn silage, and it was very uneven. It was either really wet or really dry, but either way we got it done. We couldn't have baled half of it with the baler because it was so wet. It's probably around 70+%. And then on top of the hills it was pretty dry, so we would have had some wet bales and then some dry bales. But now in the bunk, it's pretty much all mixed together and it's pretty even. So be happy to see how that turns out when we start feeding out of it. And we just let this guy go. We don't have to really pay much attention to him. He knows what to do. As you can see, there's no Jean-Till, no new manure spreader for us this year. We decided not to go with a new one, and we decided to stay with the old one because we just love it so much. Not really. It's really expensive. Manure spreader was like $57,000 or some ridiculous thing. So we said, you know what? Never mind that. We're gonna look for a used one whenever that comes around. And until then, we'll keep using our 780 John Deere Hydro Push because it's a pretty good machine. I had a couple of hiccups last year with the cylinder seals and some other stuff, but that's how it is. Stuff made in the 80s is better anyways. So we'll be spreading some of this manure from last year. We haven't got quite done. It's pretty composted, I'd say. I'll be loading it with the side-by-side. Got a loader for this? Just making it onto the Ontario side. We're off to Morewood to go get some tires. We got Dad's truck. Sit beside this big old Western saw. We're just gonna start with the Flow Boy. He was pretty heavy getting on. Been following the rain the whole way. Stopped a little bit now, but lots of people cut. Look at the size of that field, all silage down. I think he's still cutting too. The roads are nice over here. The speed limits kind of suck, you know. I don't know why everyone's gonna go 80. Quebec we do 110, 120, no one cares, but here it's 80. And there's cops everywhere. Lots going on over here, lots of big fields. Guy just getting out of the field, the sprayer. Queuing. hay cut, more silage cut. Big chicken farm here. Really nice fields. Anywho, alright. We got our tires in the back. Let's get on the ferry now. On the ferry again. Got our tires back there. A couple $1,000 later, and we're heading home. Looks like they're getting rain over there. Alright, we got home with 2 of them. So these are the 460 85s R38s by Seat. So they're Indian radials. We're not dealing with any bias tires anymore. Alright, thanks for watching everybody. Till tomorrow.